I've got a question. Are these crazy swap meet finds even real anymore? You've seen it countless times before. Someone goes to the swap meet, to the thrift store, a garage sale, or an estate sale, and they get that ultra rare item for almost nothing. Maybe you click subscribe and suddenly your feed is filled with thousands of videos of people doing the same thing. Find the rare item, pay almost nothing, rinse, repeat. It feels too good to be true, right? Now, I've heard many people online and in person say, is this even real? How is this even possible? Are creators just lucky out where you are? Or are people planting games and faking it for the views? Recently, my friends Scott and Jen, who are AKA'd as Retro Rivals, called out the fakeness that they see coming into game hunting videos.
Scripted or staged outcomes. We found this game for this price. We didn't actually.
The whole world of YouTube and retro games was built on authenticity. Real collectors chasing real nostalgia. Lots of talk of games, of memories, hidden gems, etc. But lately I've been hearing a lot of doubt. Can you really keep finding amazing stuff week after week, oftentimes at the same exact location? It's complicated. Look what I found! Today I'm going game hunting with a couple of friends from out of state to see what we can find. What are you looking for today?
Treasures. Treasures is a good answer.
You're supposed to say friendship. All the while exploring the crazy phenomenon of retro game hunting in Southern California.
There he is.
Yes!
What's up, my friend? Good to see you again.
Wow! This is beautiful. Thank you so much. I don't want to sweat in it, so I'm going to put it like this.
Freaky Flyers is actually a really fun game. It takes like the flying levels from Diddy Kong Racing and turns it into its own game. It's a kart racer on planes. The worst thing about this game is the sense of humor is just terrible. It did not age well. I didn't really find it funny to begin with, but nonetheless, as a gameplay experience, it's a really good time. If you see this one out there, I'd encourage you to give it a look.
Elisa, come take a seat. Let's see. What do you think?
I don't think I'll be able to get back out of it.
Because it's so comfy.
Yeah.
So we walked, and we walked, and we walked, and we walked. It would be good for me to start running. And then we found it. Yeah, sure, you see them out of the box all the time, but a brand new one in the box?
Starting to get a little worried because normally there's something by this point.
What even is this morning?
Supposedly Chris and Blake are here and they have already found a huge haul of screener DVDs for like SAG members, which is pretty cool. And that burrito looks massive. Right there, that woman is eating a huge burrito. Delicious burrito.
Then we came up on a huge lot of video games.
That's a lot of games.
Oh, wow.
Everything, $1,000.
Oh, you want $1,000 for everything that's in here?
That's 77 games, 16 cases empty, 2 Nintendo DX, 1 Wii.
I think if I had to just ballpark off the top of my head, it's worth about
6.
5 or 6. Even if the games are in there, then maybe 7 or 8, maybe. Dogman?
Yeah. Movie just came out.
My kids love it.
What kind of deal can we do if we buy, like, if I get one of each?
I got a bunch of Dogman books for my daughter. Lord of the Fleas we already have. Yep, we got Anne Cat Kid.
Right.
She got one the other day at the book fair at school, and then she really loved it. And she said if I got her more, she would not argue about doing her reading homework.
So, first set of games we've seen all morning. Nothing that I necessarily want to grab for the collection, but nice to see games.
Sometimes if I'm out game hunting and I don't find much stuff early on, I will get a little impatient and spend some money. I got a brand new sealed copy of Outdoor Challenge on the Nintendo Wii.
$20?
But this isn't for me.
I'm gonna get it for him.
This is for a good friend of mine.
This is for my friend Porchman, who's an avid Wii collector. And this is sealed bonus, the Toys R Us R-Zone sticker on the back. Yeah, that's awesome.
For those of you that don't know the Camel Crew is some of the greatest game hunters in the galaxy. One of their members is Porchman, and he was anyways, collecting like everything for the Nintendo Wii, and then he and his wife had to have a kid. So I got this for Porchman so that he could teach his newborn, what's it called? Spawn. So I thought I'd get him this sealed copy of the game on the Nintendo Wii so that he could teach his child how to exercise. But here's the thing, I'm not just gonna go give this to him. He has to watch the video and leave a comment. If he does that, I'm giving this to him for free. That's pretty sweet. So are the swap meet finds real? And if so, how come they happen so much? Well, let me start with the first two answers why. Population and weather. Southern California, which I'm counting as Los Angeles and Orange County, has a combined population of 13 million people. Now let's compare that with Greenville, South Carolina. It's the home of Southeast Game Exchange, which every year is packed and they keep on having to expand the convention floor because so many people are attending. Greenville has a lot of game stores and even some pretty popular toy stores as well. Yet in Greenville County, the entire population, just over 500,000 people. And by the way, there's a lot more people in Southern California than just Los Angeles and Orange County. With all of those people, there's a lot of video games to go around. But there's still more. Back in the 80s and 90s, Southern California was a bit of a hotspot for gaming. Between the population, the crowded malls, and the explosion of rental stores, more video games are sold in this region than practically anywhere else in the world. Which means that today, there's many more games still to be found thanks to all of that inventory that was sold or rented. I mean, you gotta love those rental stickers, right? The sticker doth make it sicker. But let's talk about the other major factor that plays into all of this. The weather. Southern California is basically 74 degrees all year long.
I'll tell you another thing. Once you step inside this circle, the weather never changes. It is always 67 degrees with a 40% chance of rain. Always.
No snow days, just endless weekends of inventory showing up at garage sales, estate sales, and one of the countless outdoor swap meets that happens every weekend. But even still, there's a lot of popular areas in the United States. What makes Southern California so different? Southern California is not just populated, it's historic. And that has a lot of implications for collectors. All right, now you may be watching this going, all right, Mort, that's really sweet and all, but how do I find something really? I'm not going to make it out to Southern California. Well, you might have to do your game hunting online. And may I suggest to you today's sponsor, Encore, as a place. Now, before you skip ahead, you want to pay attention because it's story time. Go ahead, sit down. I'll wait. All right, here we go. So Encore approaches me and they're like, hey, Mort, we'd love to do like a sponsorship of your channel. And, why don't you get something on us, as a little gift? And I was like, oh, you guys, it's so sweet. I had to play it cool, you guys. Because Encore was giving me something for my collection, but this is what I'm doing instead. I bought something for you. Encore is like TikTok meets eBay. You see a video of the item, you can bid on it, or you can just buy it outright depending on sort of how the listing goes. You know how eBay works. You know how TikTok looks, social media. You get the idea. The point of it is, I bought something. I bought this. Oh yeah, I'm not making this up. This is the Castlevania Double Pack. That's right, Harmony of Dissonance and Aria of Sorrow. Two of the best, not only Castlevania games, but one of the very best games, two of the very best games on the Game Boy Advance. Have you heard of the phrase Metroidvania? Castlevania. That's where it comes from. Here's the game, here's the manual, there's the front, and there's the back. It's really complete. It's the whole thing. It's the Castlevania Double Pack. I'm giving it away. You got to use my link in the description below. Sign up for Encore. Give it a try. See what you think of it. Let me know what you think of it. Leave a comment below of what you think of it. Use the pinned comment to download Encore if you haven't already. Go to my profile. You can enter the giveaway right here. You'll feel like you're at the Game Hunt Swap Meet area place with me on Encore. So check it out. And thank you, Encore, for sponsoring today's video. I'm sorry that I couldn't be totally honest with you about what I was doing with the gift that you got me, but I hope you'll forgive me. Better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I think that's in 3 Corinthians. Let's get back to the video. Check, check, check. Hello, check, check, check. The first big find of the morning comes to us in the form of a Game & Watch, and this is Bomb Sweeper on the... It's a Game & Watch. This thing is in near perfect condition. It works great. Look at that. The battery's going and everything right now. Wow. Got a great deal on this.
Do you want to get it?
You got it first. It's all you. That's so cool.
I defer to friends.
Plus, we did a game of heads or tails.
I'll hook you up. I'll do free or 30. Free or 30. We'll flip.
All right, I got to do it.
If I win, I get the game for free. If I lose, I owe a little bit more than what it's going for.
He refuses to pay me $20 for this game. I'll flip you, pal, okay?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Ready?
All right, let's go. Tails never fails.
Damn.
Oh,
You're right.
all right.
Take it, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Here, let me give you $10 for
No,
it.
that's cool. That's a
No,
bet,
no,
bro.
no.
That's a bet.
I won. I also got this one too.
All right, we got Bomb Sweeper, Mario All-Stars, and Street Fighter 2 Turbo for $100. Thanks to the kindness of Angel. Appreciate you, man. Cheers.
So much, brother.
Cheers.
See you next time.
All right. Dan, Elisa, what did you think of seeing all of that high-intensity action?
Pretty exciting.
I couldn't stop sweating.
Thank you for the amazing deal.
It's cold outside.
Yeah.
Riveting content.
So the kind of content we make around here at Mort's Garage. In my top 10 movies of all time, there's got to be an Edgar Wright movie, and many people think it's Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but no, it is Hot Fuzz. And this character, Danny Butterman, one of the very greatest. It's such a great movie, so violent and so funny, like gore out of nowhere, but then like you're laughing right after things happen.
Tonally, it's hard to do gore stuff and then also do humor and then also like this really meaningful, good story underneath it all. But some of the lines and some of the dialogue in it is just so good.
What's your favorite? Scott Pilgrim, Shaun of the Dead, or Hot Fuzz?
But speaking of great movies, that reminds me of why Southern California is such a great place to go game hunting. I'm going to share those thoughts with you right now. Los Angeles has historically been the entertainment capital of the world. Not just on this channel, but on other channels that look for collectibles in the same spots that we do. You've seen us find everything from original movie scripts, literal Emmy Awards, all kinds of crazy stuff that trickles down and through this area all the time. It's from storage lockers, it's from garage sales, estate sales. It just somehow ends up at these swap meets week after week. You never know what you're gonna find, but it makes sense when you consider population, weather, and region that all this stuff is being found in. But this area is not just film and TV historic. There's a lot of video game history here as well. Video game companies like Sega, Atlas, Bandai Namco, EA, Naughty Dog, Blizzard, they all have had offices here, have grown down here, or are still operating here currently, publishing and creating video games day after day. That means not only is there a lot of stuff happening now, but there's a lot of stuff historically that's sitting in people's homes that ends up at swap meets and garage sales and estate sales pretty regularly, which is always exciting because you never know what you're going to end up finding down in this area. Now, there's still a couple more reasons why game hunting is so consistent out here in Southern California. But before I get into those reasons, we got to do a little bit more game hunting, and this is where things get pretty interesting.
All the N64, their manuals, inserts.
Everything's complete.
Now, as regular viewers of this channel know, I've got a complete in-box collection for the Nintendo 64, and many have asked, what are you doing next? And I'm still kind of figuring that out a little bit, but one thing that I do know is that games that I have that are sealed, that I don't intend on grading or any of that kind of stuff, I still don't know that it makes sense to break the seal on it, and yet at the same time I want the box and the manual and the cartridge to be able to play them. So if I find clean, good condition versions of the games out at the swap meet, I want to get them. There's a few games in the collection that fit that category of not something that I plan on grading, but doesn't really make sense to open it in this day and age. One of those games, and the first game at this table that stood out to me, is Namco Museum 64. I got my copy at a gaming event locally here for $30, maybe about 10 or so years ago. I ended up getting this one instead to replace it. Now I'm gonna look through the manual and all that stuff. I just like to have my games open. You know, I did think though, at one point, maybe it'd be cool to open the seal just to kind of relive some of the nostalgia. But then he showed me a couple of bags of Game Boy games, and take a look and see what we got here.
Okay, now hold on, because maybe we just get all of this.
I'm gonna go through the games in the slot because these were really exciting games, but there were 4 original Pokemon games.
Quick maths?
Let's do some maths.
Donkey Kong, Mega Man, Zelda, Ninja Turtles double pack.
Make sure my maths, but your 5 on this is a smoking deal.
And then like more like Mega Mans and Sonics and Metroid and Mario Pinball Land. Oh, they're falling. That's a thing I do.
So we'll do 425.
Incredible. Okay. And then you had these at 100 for both of these, so 525. Can you do 550? Throw that in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
550, let's do it.
Incredible deal.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thanks. Went from a dry morning to not. Dan, were you sweating on that one?
For you, yes.
This is just a bunch of great Game Boy titles. All of these are great games. Truly, you saw everything that's in that lot. $425 for all those Game Boy games.
Insane deal.
And then to add to that, I'm going for Player's Choice variant now on the complete in box set because why not? Let's
You're
keep
gonna play
going.
every copy of Pokemon. That's
Twice,
duplicate, right?
even the copies. Yeah. This is for the collection. This I've got sealed already, and then my box on this one is pretty destroyed. It's a great way to keep the morning going. You played drums in the marching band, right?
No.
Was that you?
No. I marched with the sax.
What did you march with?
Piccolo.
Not even close to drums.
Well, I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
Huzzah! Damn, there's games! There's games!
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Tell us, what did you find today at the swap meet?
I got a whole bag of Angry Birds, even like a Captain America mag, that's a plus.
Rad.
I bet you guys found like cool video games as always.
That's all we look for. And a good time, right?
Yeah, having a good time.
Right, Mike?
Always a good time with good friends.
That's it, baby. Dan, what's the coolest thing you've seen so far today?
You.
Oh, okay, how about you?
Hamburger phone.
Dan and Elisa just picked up
Series X.
this Series X.
1X.
1X. That's right. The 1X. Amazing console.
This is the...
With this controller. It's a beauty.
And a bunch of games.
Look at those triggers. How cool is that?
Yeah.
120. That's a deal. That's a living room Blu-ray player at worst.
Absolutely.
This morning has been filled with retro games. Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, boxed N64, a Game & Watch, all kinds of stuff. Surely, there couldn't be anything else to find this morning that could possibly top that now. Could there? Population, weather, and history of the region. Okay, fine. But week after week? How do you keep doing this all the time? I mean, don't these vendors know what they've got? There's an answer for that one as well. Relationships. The best finds don't just come from luck. They come from time, consistency, and trust. When you've been going to the same swap meets for 10 or so years, like I, or even longer for Pixel Game Squad and many others who don't put their stuff up online, you don't just have a place to buy and sell things, you have a little bit of a community going, which means that people know what others are looking for, and sometimes they will let them know or give them a heads up, and that's just how it works out there sometimes. And that's probably true of most marketplaces that are similar to this, whether it's video games or otherwise. But some people think, why would vendors still sell video games and other collectibles like that for cheap? Don't they realize that they could make more money? There's actually a really good answer for this, though. It's because vendors aren't collectors. They're vendors. Many of the swap meet vendors are buying their stuff at an incredibly high volume, usually from storage units. And when they're buying stuff, they're looking at a couple of high-ticket items that they're looking to sell and get a lot for, usually things like gold, jewelry, other kinds of different like designer handbags or other things like that that can net them hundreds if not thousands of dollars. So when I go and buy a game from them and they sell it to me for $10, $20, $30 less than what it goes for, that's not a really big deal to them, even if it's a really big deal to me. What's probably more important is that they can just move all the stuff out, because not all of them have storefronts that they're loading the stuff into. They're just getting rid of it as soon as they can. It makes more sense for them to have consistent buyers that they can just move the stuff to, rather than having to sort of sit on everything and nickel and dime everything into the top value amount. The other issue is there's just a high volume of different stuff. You're not just looking at video games and designer handbags and gold and jewelry and all that stuff. You're also looking at things like tools and electronics and all kinds of other things in the collectorverse that are just sort of all over the place. Now, some vendors are going to find different things that they're going to want to sell at a little bit of a higher amount than maybe normal. I'm not saying that this is like a charity or anything, but at the same time, you have to consider when you have that much stuff coming through, the goal is just get rid of it because they've already made their money. They're now needing to go get the next storage unit. They don't care if they're going to get $20 more for a PS2 game when you could save that money yourself or buy a big bulk of it and get it out of their hands. And for collectors like me, that makes game hunting incredibly worthwhile. Even if it's not just video games you're after. You may have noticed I'm not wearing a cardigan sweater as I typically would do in one of these videos. There's a reason for that. The Coen brothers are among the greatest auteur filmmakers in history. Auteur just meaning that there's a central artistic figure. It's not like a studio movie, it's a Martin Scorsese movie, or a P.T. Anderson, or a Wes Anderson movie, or a Coen brothers movie. When you see that their name is on something, at least for me, when I see that, I don't really care what the movie's about. I just want to go see it because those artists are making those movies. The Coens are responsible for masterpieces like Raising Arizona, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Best Picture winner, No Country for Old Men, Fargo, and so many others. But perhaps their most infamous movie, at least one of their most infamous movies, is a noir comedy called The Big Lebowski.
That is the dude's sweater.
If you haven't seen a Coen brothers movie before, get ready for kind of a wild ride. These are movies with hilarious dialogue, really amazing characters. They're super witty, super fast, and really violent at times as well. But it's sort of grounded in something mysterious or ethereal.
How much is this?
$140.
Oh, okay.
Time and time again, their movies have delighted and surprised me to where if they make something, I'm gonna go see it. But The Big Lebowski is special. Not only are the characters amazing and the dialogue endlessly quotable, there's something about the movie that has a mood or an aura to it that's become more than a cult classic. It's something that people just know who the character of the dude is. And one of the most iconic elements of the dude is his wardrobe. In particular, his Pendleton sweater, which, thanks to cameraman Mike, we were able to find sitting out at the swap meet.
You mind holding this for me?
For the steaks.
But this Pendleton sweater is not just like a similar looking one. It is exactly the same one that he wears. Same pattern, same look, same color, same everything. And Pendleton, these sweaters got so popular that they ended up reissuing them. But this is an original vintage Pendleton sweater. I'll put it on for you now. The dude abides.
That's more than a single stitch. It's a million stitch.
I love expensive stitches.
So yeah, I have heard the rumors, just as you probably have, of some people planting games or whatever, but I will tell you, what you see on this channel is what you get. None of the finds on this channel have ever been planted or orchestrated in any kind of a way to be deceptive or anything like that. Every week we find stuff and there's good reason why we do. And today's hunt was no exception.
Hey, Mort!
Do I know you?
How are you, buddy?
You look familiar, I just can't quite put my finger on it.
Nah, hey man, I'm just a messenger,
Meh.
Listen, I was really amazed with how you completed that N64 set. Truly some hard work.
Oh, thanks, you know, I just worked really hard and...
Yeah, great. Listen, I wanted to let you know about something.
I'm a big boy.
Morty, you're gonna want to sit down for this.
Kind of a loser, too.
Oh, man, you ready? You ready for this?
You.
Looky what I've got. I knew this would get your attention.
The Millennium 2000 controller?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what this is. One of the rarest N64 controllers. You know, the one that celebrated the year 2000.
Hence the Millennium part of the name.
You catch on pretty quick.
There's supposedly only 1,000 of those controllers that were produced.
Supposedly, this specific one contains the spiritual essence of the Nintendo 64 generation.
I'm pretty spiritual.
More than any other item on the N64. More than sealed games, game collectible standees, or a dumb video game manual. I got this one a while ago, but I'm inspired that I might be letting it go.
How much? What do you want for it?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This isn't some kind of sculptor's cut situation. You can't just throw some money around and get it anytime you want. No, it's gonna take some money, all right. But there's more to it than just cash.
How much, Kimosabi?
Love that reference. You're just full of movie references, my guy.
It's a special skill.
Well, listen here, Liam Neeson.
I have a special set of skills.
I suppose it's time I let you in on a little secret.
Revealing a secret? On my video? Publicly?
See, because in order to acquire it, you must be worthy of it. And the only way to do that is to prove yourself by entering into a tournament.
Like Jean-Claude.
Yeah, kind of like JCVD, but don't attempt the splits on two chairs.
Okay.
Head to Phoenix, Arizona, to the Game On Expo. Ask around about a tournament, but not just any tournament. This is a secret underground tournament with a rich history, and it may cost you everything.
Holy crap, it really is Bloodsport!
It kind of is, but I'm not gonna make it easy for you. You have to prove you want it. When you get to the expo, do your Mort thing, do some trades, make some purchases, shake some of your fans' hands, but don't do anything out of the ordinary. Ask around, maybe start with some of the vendors, or some of your so-called friends.
All this for a controller that may cost me everything. Where do I even begin? Can you give me a clue, or how do I even start to look for this thing?
You'll find a way to the right place.
One last question. Why should I trust you?
Because I'm the only one who's holding the controller. And if you want it,